Today on Coach Lau, a lot of MIBR drama. So we're going to watch Ax1Le versus MIBR today. He farmed. Great map here on Mirage. Great series overall. 17-9 on that CT side. Let's take a look at that. It is late again today, guys. I said I was going to upload late, but I did. There's a bunch of MIBR drama right now. Brazilian scene in tatters. But there's actually so much. I'm going to get to it tomorrow. Okay? So there's this KNG tweet. There's Fallen leaving after MIBR part ways with Furtaco and Dead. There's, KNG clapping back at Guales out of nowhere. I mean, there's a ton of shit. And just to pile onto it, let's just go ahead and watch Gambit youngsters help create the fall of MIBR here today with handing them another loss. I mean, these guys are not a team to be slept on. They've got some insane players, but we have not got to watch them. We have not got to watch these players just yet. So I want to know what the deal is. What's the hubbub about with Mr. Ax1Le? Hope he doesn't switch to Mixer. Actually, that wouldn't be possible because that website doesn't exist. Let's go ahead and get in the game. All right, perfect. Starting right here on the CT side. It's a 1280 by 960. And, just quickly, let's take a look at his... Let's just take a look at his sensitivity and stuff. Just curious. 800, 1.5. Wow, almost that simple sensitivity. 1200 EDPI. Very, very high sensitivity. I mean, considering I am now switched to 1.4 for 100, everything's high. Everyone's moving way faster than me. I'm going to keep the demo open for this one. Oh my god, no black bars, thank god. Am I right, guys? Seems like every goddamn player in this game plays on 1024 black bars. But we've got Ax1Le a bit stretched up. Oh, kind of cool that he's actually fighting that. That's a demo watching angle right there. He's actually sitting in cat, waiting for them to take over jungle control. So this is absolutely him understanding what MIBR were going to do on this round. So whether he watched the demo or someone watched it for him. You know what's wild? Hobbit has like a kid, and he looks as young as Ax1Le. And I feel like Ax1Le is going to look as young as Hobbit when he gets to his age. I'm not sure what's going on there. Insane genetics, all right? Steal genetics in the chat. Insane genetics. No, this is not streamed on Twitch, but maybe one day it will be. I think it's possible. I think we could see it happen. But yeah, there's so much news. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. It's going to be a big news day here on Coach Lau with the MIBR. And I'm honestly sad because this is a really big deal. Wow, B-Stack. Perfect read here to go up against... Oh, don't tell me they win this. I think this match... I mean, it's a very strong performance here for Gambit youngsters, and they got a good stack going on. Perfectly read into it, looks like, but it doesn't matter. Trades are super good for MIBR, and he gets called out of his position. Nothing special to say about that stack. Of course, a stack is a stack is a stack. You got to try it, see what works. I'm actually a big fan of this crosshair. It's kind of like a boomer like crosshair. It's big, but it's a nice shade of green. You know what? I'm just going to go quickly here and copy it. Oh, no, not send burn requests. Oh, I can't copy his crosshair from the demo. You're not going to let me do that, Valve? You really don't care about it. I'm kidding, guys. I know they care a little bit. Same stack. Albert Einstein said madness is trying the same thing twice and expecting the same results. Expecting different results. But he also said, if the laws don't fit the theories, change the laws. Oh my god. It's happening. Well, there's the first two. Not so bad from Ax1Le. Very nice. Aiming with his keyboard there, if you noticed. Just pretty much not flicking at all. Strafing in that kind of crack peek down cat. And it's already at headshot level. I think it's a big trap to move your crosshair too much sometimes, so kind of like that. And you'd really be able to tell this guy is running on such a high sensitivity. It would be supremely obvious if he was moving his crosshair at all with his mouse. Nobody's got that level of dexterity. Nobody's that dexterous. Oh, Gambit have already changed their logo. Look at that. Just a slight change. A slight change in the right direction, I think. Okay. First push off Cat. Comparing directly here, was actually curious what position Ax1Le played. I've never watched Gambit youngsters play once in my life. I've just been seeing their stats. I've been seeing their match threads. I've just been hearing about Ax1Le, Shiro. I've never watched them play myself, so this is pretty cool. And so he's playing the same position here as Config. We can see how low he's aiming, kind of for that crouch peek into ladder to clear him out the entire time. Not even up against the wall for anything far back. Very smart, very aware. Oh, I mean, if you cheat and take a look at the radar right here, you see that he's prepared for the correct thing. You can see how precise he is on his crosshair placement too. Even when he comes back into it, he's prepared specifically for that same peak. So now that smoke goes down, and he'll try to reposition. I don't think they're coming for him though, so how will he respond to this cat aggression? Sorry, this connector aggression. Supported Molotov. We saw the same one from Config as well. It's kind of all you can do. It's the most you can do for your air players. And wow, they took too long. And obviously an awesome spray there into connector, but yeah, they delayed to the point that it was a free peek for him and didn't clear him off of Cat. He was just sitting there waiting. Through the Molotov, so if you think about it like this, the smoke that they throw last 15 seconds, he waited a bit through the Molotov down. A few seconds. There's probably 3-4 seconds. What the heck? There's probably 3-4 seconds left between the Molotov and the smoke, and then MIBR still waited after that to go up Cat, or go up connector. But they had just assumed, I guess, from the spam and stuff that Ax1Le had fallen back. But boy, were they wrong. Boy, were they wrong. Such a strong spot to be. We've talked about the utility of being in ladder room or CPL. Getting info under the window, it's an OP angle. Players coming up from Cat, OP angle. Shelter, protecting window, eliminating the need for someone to watch the window. So much value here in playing the ladder room. A lot of Mirage for some teams is based off of ladder room on both sides. Very powerful position to be as a T as well. So that smoke gets held for a very long time, and Ax1Le starts to become curious about what may be happening on the other side of the map, and it's down to 25 seconds. The call will come out. Assuming here that Gambit youngsters, unless they pull out a miracle, are not going to be able to win this round. They do have a little bit of utility, and actually, in opening kill from CT spawn, the bomb has not got planted. Oh, what is this fumble?
Bomb has been planted.
MIBR. They've now opened it up a little bit. Kanji swinging in front of the jungle smoke, but it is a 2-on-2 situation. And you know what? We're going to see how this plays out. Oh, okay. Not so hot so far. That's a round given up. Okay, so they do end up closing it. Taking their sweet time, though, in those last few moments before the bomb got planted. No one here to mess with them. It seems like he just puts a lot of pressure on Cat, and if there's no one here, he's just going to take that. A really slow default here from MIBR. Would now focus into the B apps. It's actually a gamble stack from Gambit youngsters into A site. Ax1Le should be useless here. This should be a very hard round for him to get anything out of it. He's got no grenades to work with. He's just got to hit a 6 shot out of the window. Misses a couple of deagle shots on a player who is jumping back and forth, blind by his own flashbang, not facing Ax1Le. Of course, very, very hard shots to hit. Sometimes some would say the hardest shots to hit. Players that are not looking at you. You know what I always think is that those players are specifically, I mean, sometimes the model, but I think it's harder to hit people who are not looking at you because you cannot, because you're not face to face. Oh, wow, I didn't expect that at all. Okay, KNG comes flying around the corner and Ax1Le picks a perfect position. He, again, aims for that crouch peek. A lot of crouch peekers on MIBR. Does a good job just stuffing the B aggression as well. No real wasted nades here from Ax1Le. He's been good about holding on to them for as long as he needs to. And last one spotted here in the underpass. But I've always thought that psychologically, shooting someone in the back of the head is harder because they actually don't see you. So therefore, you can't predict how they're going to strafe because they're not even thinking about how you're going to strafe. That makes sense. I've always thought it's harder to hit bots for that same reason when they're strafing all funny. They're just less predictable. As if it wasn't already hard enough to shoot someone down while they're ADing. Ax1Le. Whoa. He fluffs the jump a little bit, but he stays patient. He's like fine with it. Could have got swung on there, of course. And over top of this cat smoke. Good spacing here from MiBR to trade him out. First kill comes down instantly. And that's pretty much it. You know, your cat player he's just in a high frag location. He's going to take a lot of duels. And what we saw from Config was a masterclass. This isn't quite as clean of a showing, but we're watching a more promising player versus more of a veteran at this point. But the way Config played cat in that demo that we watched, I mean, that was one of the best cat performances, you know, honestly, of ever. It was just so clean. It was beautiful. It wasn't like incredibly, I mean, he made it look easy, so there's something, but yeah, that was pretty much a perfect half by him. This is looking more just like a very, very strong half. And my favorite thing to see, of course, is just what are your favorite angles to hold? How are you holding these angles? And when I say there's a lot of crouch peekers in MIBR, I'm not joking. I think that's one cool thing we'll see. What you'll notice more with the X-ray is Ax1Le's holding for these crouch peeks, and these crouch peeks are coming. And that's why he's getting a lot of headshots. Headshot. Like, look at this. Let's see what anyone's coming here just yet. So Ax1Le, no grenades on this one. Cannot Molotov connector, which would have been useful. But does take care of window. KNG gets caught off guard once again. It's been very good in the duels. I think up 2-1 versus KNG. And everybody else does their part as well. The value really is limitless. Fast rotation, window control, cat control, and under window presence. All wrapped into one package. And you get a room with a ladder. Timing on the HE, and it's a good timing. Molotov to support, and this is to stop people from coming up to bench so you can continue to fight. See that Molotov extinguish. Do fires extinguish by themselves, or do they just like dissipate? What's the correct terminology there? Ends? Just fire just ends? Okay. Let's see if he takes a quick fight and leaves or not. Spots one. Okay. Holy. I love that how he just doesn't, I mean, he really just doesn't adjust his crosshair at all. He just lines it up, comes out, tries to grab one. I mean, that obviously, you know, looks crazy from the other perspective. Very clean stuff. And just kind of like Config, we saw when they take the actual direct fight to top mid, they are extremely timid about it. They give themselves like a moment to fight. I'm sure he doesn't think about it that hard, but We can see it. Like that specific kind of flat right angle, because it's pre-fireable, they just really don't like commit super hard to it. Let's give it a look. Give it a glimpse.
Counter-terrorists win.
Round done and won. So this, I wonder if he was going to try to nade closet there. We see the same flash, high over the wall. Just the best flash you could have, I guess. And you really just can't be afraid to, yeah, be swinging on some of these big wide ranges that are far away. It's not that you put your best player, like your best players, basically your highest fragging players, will go connector and cat. That's kind of how you set it up. Your ticket player has a boring job. Your B player has a boring job. Your window player can oftentimes get smoked out. But cat and connector will have to take the most duels and a half, most typically. Let's see. A is confirmed. Connector duel 1. Up 3-1 now versus KNG. KNG wants to kill him. He's always sent out to try to kill him, to the same positions that Ax1Le is. But yeah, Ax1Le just by small margins is coming out ahead. See how he plays off the molly, tries to squeeze them out. Has somebody watching underpass on this full mid setup. Ax1Le facing forward. But again, it looks like a late kind of A play up the A ramp. Something a little bit sneaky. And finally a player underpass. And that's actually taken care of for him. Really good, of course, to see both the patience and the confidence all wrapped up into one. Not afraid to peek, but knows when to fall back. Very efficient so far with the grenades. Okay, Molotov to land where they're going to jump out, of course, and now you just got to hit them while they cross and pick a couple of different fights, doing a fantastic job so far. Making up for the fact that his teammate got rushed down. Absolutely owns TRK. I mean, yeah, TRK got mauled. He even waited on a timing to try to peek into Ax1Le, and Ax1Le was just instantly to the body. Three bullets straight up. Gets him killed. That is best case scenario there for Ax1Le. Because usually when they're out of the window and you already put the molly down, but it's too late, that round's lost. You let them through the middle of the site, you know, your empty pillow player gets killed. You as the cat player, like, you're half thinking about saving almost. You're like, I'm probably going to get swarmed. It's unlikely. So does one hell of a job. And we can see he can't really play to catch people off guard, right? He's playing, sitting in that same spot. Just sitting in the same spot. Peeking expected places. Another one over KNG. Another jump out here, Ax1Le. The great flashes here from MIBR to allow them to get out of the window. Those are working very well. And again, Ax1Le just trying to shut down the left side of the site so his teammates can rotate over, and ends up getting that second kill at least. But it's good enough for the round. It's really his teammate that is making his job a bit harder. And MiBR finding good timings to exit. But they are not getting one over Ax1Le. Excellent. Did I need to say that pun? No. But I did anyway. So he actually hit Fur with this grenade, and Fur gets traded. Instant body shot there. How do you... Who is that? Nafany? YNG? Gambit Youngsters, YNG. Nafany. Nafany. Okay. And that is the round over with. And we could see how many swing rounds there were because of that Ax1Le where he just made it so that they just couldn't get the man advantage back in their favor. 2.1 KD here, 122 utility damage off of those HEs. I think that should actually be a bit higher, I want to say. ADR through the roof. That's the end of the half. Do we find out who wins? Okay, Gambit Youngsters 9-6 half with the help of Mr. Ax1Le. Do I have a double border on that? I got to fix that. Tomorrow morning we'll talk about the MIBR stuff. This was good. This is also really good. I love watching two people play the same spot and actually see how much was in common and how Ax1Le was prepared on a few of those rounds just demo-wise for like what to expect, like that pistol. The nade timings, they're not complicated nade timings to play off of Cat. It really is about like being confident enough to know when to peek top mid and how to play around the smoke when they're going connector and when they try to rush you. But yeah, the specific crosshair placement that he used, I think I like it. Like he aimed for the head height on those wide peaks on Cat to top mid, but then when it came down to the peak into ladder room, he always aimed for the crouch peak. He aimed for the crouch peak into the window and B. Very good first bullet accuracy from him as well, and a couple of solid B holds. Definitely had lots of different kinds of pressure put on him and showed up every time. So there's Ax1Le. The first time I've ever watched Ax1Le. The first time I've ever watched Gambit Youngsters play. I think we should also try to do a Shiro demo in the near future. And that was pretty cool. And yeah, well, I'll make sure. So tomorrow's will come out, of course, just before the stream, nice and early as usual. Really just try to take the weekend off and do other stuff. But yeah, super cool. Like that one a lot. And I'll see you back here again for tomorrow's demo. If you have anything that you want me to talk about tomorrow in regards to anything with Brazilian CS right now or any other topics, and if you have other players, of course, your players, the ones you pick, are the ones that I'm going to do. We're going to look at this comment is the one I got, was it this one? I had a video, or sorry, I had a video here. I think it was the Blame F one, where Ax1Le was requested by Dutchy. Thank you so much, Dutchy. That's love. A great recommendation to complement the config demo perfectly. Perfect compliment right there. Okay, everybody. See you guys in the morning. Have a good night.